Hey everybody. My recording of this training a few weeks ago, I had some issues with it. So unfortunately, the recording did not save. So I'm re-recording this today and sharing it for everybody so that you have this content. I'll also post the slide deck so you can review that. If you do have any follow-up questions, I know there was a few of you that were on the original call and quite a few of you that were not. So if you do have questions about this, definitely hop into the Facebook group and let me know if you have any of those questions. I'm also going to be working with you this coming Thursday. What is that? May 7th, to work on actually creating the marketing plan and work on developing your content. So hopefully you can join me for that. So this is a re-recording of the April 23rd training on creating a marketing plan. So what I want to do is cover 5 things. So define your objective, like what is the objective of your marketing efforts? I want you to review your offerings. Number 3 is looking at marketing channels. Number 4 is creating a schedule. And 5 is all about implementation, which honestly can be the hardest of all of these things to do. So that's what I want to run through today. So the first one obviously is to define the objective of your marketing. So let's look at the possible objectives that you might have. So the first one is brand recognition. Right now, that's probably one of the most important things for many of you to do, as maybe things have been a bit stagnant in your business because of COVID-19. And you just, maybe you can't really be getting new clients because of the nature of your business. But what you can do is be out there and be visible. Right? The other thing could be you're launching a new product or service. So perhaps you are going online, you're offering something virtual, digital. It could be letting people know about that, or a new way that you're offering your services. Number 3, it could be just about strengthening customer relationships so that people know who you are and you build a bit more rapport with people. Number 4 could be that you're actually entering a new market. You've created a new product or a new service for a different demographic. So you want to really look at who those people are so you can create a marketing plan to attract those new clients. And then number 5 is increase engagement. It could be that kind of tied with brand recognition, that you want to get people chatting. You want to engage with them. You want to create content that develops a conversation between you and your audience while building brand recognition. So I really see those two very, very much tied together, and probably what most people need to be looking at right now, possibly along with the launching a new product, strengthening relationships. You may or may not be entering a new market at this time. That depends on the nature of your business, though. So number 2 is you have to review what you are actually offering. So you need to take a look and decide what you want people to do. Create a funnel to get them there, and then create a client journey. So I'll give you an example, which I think I have an example. I do, yes. So this is our offering. We offer Brandcamp and we offer visual design. So the funnel that I've created. So I know ultimately I need people to get into Brandcamp, because we don't do any visual design for people unless they've done Brandcamp first. So the first objective is to get people into Brandcamp and then to sign up for the visual design packages. So the funnel I use to get them there, I have a free lead magnet and brand audit offer. So anybody could get to the lead magnet from a few different ways, through Facebook, through social media. It's in my email footer. When I do a talk, I'll usually share the link. When I do a talk, I always offer a brand audit to the participants so they can get on the phone with me and I can help give them a more specific audit of their brand so that they have something tangible to kind of walk away with. It's also a great way for me to create relationships and build rapport with people, and for me to determine if I feel like there could be a right fit for us as a client, and vice versa. So it's not a pushy sales call. It's an audit. And quite often it will naturally lead to them being interested in, okay, so how could you then help me with some of these things? And sometimes it's like, awesome, thank you, I got what I needed, and they're off. And that's okay, because honestly, we don't have the bandwidth to take on the number of clients that I do brand audits for. So if I could get 20% of people that I talk to become clients, then we are doing really well. So the next offer is low price. So you'll see you have a free. Low price would be the book, right? That's a $30 price point. So it's not free, but it's pretty inexpensive. So it's a great entry point for people beyond the free. And then the next one will be Brand Camp Online, which is the lowest price. The group offering is a mid-price range, and one-on-one is the highest price range. And then visual design, again, is higher than that. So that's sort of the hierarchy. That's the funnel, right? So you've got the free, if you're looking at it like an upside down funnel, you've got the free stuff up here. You're going to attract the most people. Then you might get some people for the low price thing, which is the book, right? Then we're going to funnel down further. We're going to get some of those people into Brand Camp in one of those iterations. And then an even smaller percentage, we're going to get into visual design, because the price goes up as you go down and the funnel narrows. So hopefully that makes sense. Some of you may be familiar with the idea of funnels, but ultimately it starts at the lowest price point, leads to something, or free, low price point, and goes down, because ultimately you're going to narrow that. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So once you've decided what you're actually offering and what the funnel is, like the journey to get people to sign up for those things that you have, you then want to think about, what is the client journey once they've signed up with you, right? So it's one thing to think about your marketing from an external, like attracting the clients, but then what is the experience you want them to have once they sign up with you? So when you're clear on that, it helps to retain clients longer. It can help to get more referrals, more great testimonials. It's something I've been really working on a lot in the last, I'd say, year and a half. It's not perfect. We're not perfect. Nobody is perfect, but we have really gotten much clearer on the journey we want people to go through and setting up those expectations. So the first is, how do you onboard a client? You know, what's the message you send them? The email? Do you send them a little token in the mail, a thank you card, whatever that is? Like, what's your process? And it doesn't have to be expensive. It's just, how do you treat people? Even just the email, welcome, we're so excited to be working together, whatever that language is. Number two, set the expectations so they know timelines, they understand what they're expected to do, what they can expect from you, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, we've just created an infographic of our process and our timeline, because we found that people weren't always clear about when they were going to get things and when we needed things from them. So we created a beautiful graphic PDF that we're going to be able to send people now, which is just completed. So then it's like, how do you communicate? How often? What's the tone? Do you have regular touch points? If it's a 2-month project, do you have weekly emails you send out? Do you only email them when you have an update? There's no right or wrong necessarily. It's just understanding which is the right one. Like what's right for you, I should say. And what do your clients expect? Number 4, support. Like, how do you support them? What are you doing? Is it through email? Is it through phone? Is it through a Facebook group? Through video calls? What are the different ways that you support your clients through that process? Because a happy customer is more likely to hire you for more things and refer you to other people because they've had such a great experience. And then number 5 is something unexpected. What is it you do that's kind of something fun, or maybe something they didn't expect? We started sending out a postcard that said the key to your brand. And it's got a USB key in the shape of a key that has all of your files. And if you've worked with us on design, you may have received one of these. So you know what I'm talking about, because we found that people were losing their files that they were spending thousands of dollars on. And so while it's kind of, you expect to get your files, but usually we were just sending, here's a link to download them all on a Dropbox link. but maybe they weren't downloading them, or we move things and then they forgot to do it, whatever the reason is. Now we send you in the mail a little box with a Lab Creative sticker, with the USB key inside, with a handwritten note on this postcard. So it's something you need. Ultimately, it's something you're paying for, but we found that because there was something that was often being missed in that process of just like downloading a file, that this felt a little bit more fulfilling to people. We're like, ooh, all of my files came in the mail. So it's kind of a cool thing because so much of what we do is digital. So next, I want you to look at your marketing channels. So where are you doing your marketing? Where could you possibly be doing it? So here are some options. You can use social media, email marketing, your own website. You can do it through partnerships, word of mouth, podcasts. These are just a few. So take a look, are you utilizing any of these? If not, well, pick one or two, right? Maybe start with social media. Look at who else is in your space that could refer business to you. I have a few I'll call them strategic partnerships. Nothing official. There's no kickbacks. There's no like, I'll pay you for this and that. It's just people who really believe in the work that we do. And they know that by providing me as a resource to their networks, their clients, that they look really good and their clients benefit. So it's a win for them because they get to provide this as a great resource. And it often leads to business for me. Word of mouth, right? Ask your clients for testimonials, email them and say, hey, I've got this new offer. Do you have anybody that you think might be the right fit? Et cetera, et cetera. So think about any of the things that you're currently doing. Is there anything you could increase? Do you need to create a plan, right? And that's something that we're going to be doing on actually creating that content calendar, is like, what's for social media? What's for email marketing on your website? Is it a blog? What is it you're creating? So that you have more of a plan, right? So first of all, look at where can you be leveraging? Where can you be visible in your marketing? And then we have to create a plan around it. So next is creating that schedule, right? So creating that content schedule, you need to work backwards from the end goal. So as an example, for me right now, I have another session of the virtual group brand camp starting May 26th. So I know that I want to have at least 4 people signed up for that, at least a few days before that. It's already May 6th when I'm recording this. So I've really got to get my butt in gear and start reaching out and creating that awareness. So I know I need to have 4 people. I have some people kind of on a waiting list who are interested. My first plan is, okay, I need to email all of those people. Then I need to look at what I need to create in terms of content between now and then to have some of those touch points. So there's sort of a rule, unwritten rule that I've heard from some social media experts, that you should have a 3-to-1 ratio of awareness to sales. So you don't want to have your social media and emails to your clients just filled with sales emails. It's obnoxious. People will unsubscribe and unfollow you if it's just too salesy, especially right now. People don't want to be overly sold to. So if you have a ratio of like 3 kind of inspirational posts, 3 posts about clients, like, so I might post a photo about speaking or about my book, a quote from my book. I might post a client project, some design work that we've been doing. Then I would post something about BrandCamp. Then I would post something else about some other things. And then I might post another, so it's about having a good ratio of awareness around your brand building and sales. So things to also include, it's not just about social media. It's like, what am I going to blog about? Am I creating videos? What am I emailing to people? What social media? So when you have a good sense of like what your objective is, you can go, okay, I can write a blog post, then I can cut up that blog post and create 5 weekly videos for that. Then I can send an email out to my list, linking to the blog post, sharing something about this or that. Then I can also use some of these things on social media. So it's kind of creating a schedule so you know every day what you're posting, right? And This is where you really need to show your personality, which is number 4. Don't forget, don't just become robotic in what you're posting. Share something really meaningful as much as you can. Don't just create content to create content. Share thoughtful insights, share things that you're experiencing, and really show people who you are because they want to know you. And be visible, be authentic, and be consistent, right? I talk about that a lot. Visibility, authenticity, and consistency are really key to creating brand chemistry. So when you've got those 3 things and you're really clear in your messaging, which if you're in this group, you've all gone through Brand Camp with me. So you've got the clarity in your messaging. Now it's just about showing up authentically and consistently. So here's this content calendar that I've created, which we will be working on together on Thursday, which is actually tomorrow, I just realized. So although if you're watching this replay later, that training has already happened. And if you'd like to request another one, send me a message and let me know, and we can always do it again. Because this will have to be constantly, like you'll have to work on this probably every month. So look at the topics that your clients are looking for answers for, right? What are they asking you for? What are you hearing? What's the challenges? And then create a theme for each month. And so you can see how I've divided this up. Create your expert opinion, the how to do something, your opinion, a case study, a personal story, and a big name doing it right. That's sort of that really high level, right? Then you dive into each month going, okay, this is the topic, all of the pieces. And then you go to your weekly content calendar for each week and you go, okay, I need to post this video on my Insta story. This is going on just in my main Instagram. I'm blogging about this. I'm going to email. So this is the weekly is where you really outline what you're going to do each day that week and what you're going to post. Again, this will be easier to really understand when we do it together, because then you'll see how we can kind of really map this out. So hopefully you can join me for that. And then number 5 is implementation. And as I said at the beginning, this can be the hardest thing to do because I've done it, I've had a plan, and then you just don't do it. So we have to kind of get out of our own way, and that done is better than perfect really comes into play here. I've made typos. I've done, like we've all had those moments where it's not perfect, and I'd rather see you be visible and slightly imperfect than invisible. So that's why implementation is really important. So it's looking at things like blocking time in your calendar to write content. I actually shared something today on social media because I had a call with my business coach yesterday, and I'm like, I had this thing kind of bubbling under the surface and I hadn't been able to stop thinking about it. And yet at the same time, I've been blocking time in my calendar, but I wasn't actually doing anything in that time. I was finding other things to do, and I haven't actually really written anything in what feels like weeks. And she said, you've got to write that story down, because whether or not it's something you're going to share, it's blocking you from creating the content that you need to create for your business and your clients. So I was like, okay. So I did that today. I wrote that out. Interestingly enough, I haven't recorded this video either because I just never seem to have time. And now suddenly I'm like, okay, I can do this video. I can do these other things. So I think it's important just to write, even if you don't share everything that you're writing. So if you feel blocked, there's probably something that's holding you back. Just a little sidebar. So if you can, block some time in your calendar to write content. Spend time each day or several times a week posting on social media. I try to do 5 days a week, around 8 o'clock every morning when I'm drinking my coffee. So now you can all picture me. I'm sitting with my awesome, Americano misto that my husband makes, and I've got my phone, and I know what picture I'm posting, and I haven't always written the content, but I know what I want to say. And so that's what I do every morning. So that's just find a time that works for you in your schedule. That's what works for me. And then reach out to your network and past clients. It's not just about social media. It's not just about emailing your email list. It could just be about reaching out to people you've worked with, asking your clients, past clients, how are you doing? What's going on with you? Do you need any support right now? or say, hey, you went through this with me before, I've got a new offering, or I've got a new, for me, if it's Brand Camp, I could say to each one of you, listen, I've got a new session of Brand Camp coming up at the end of March or end of May, and I'm looking for, a couple more entrepreneurs just like you to go through this. Now, they've already experienced Brand Camp. You've already experienced it. So you could already think in your head, oh, I know at least one or two of my entrepreneur friends who would really benefit from this. Then you ask them and say, hey, I would love to be able to help more people just like you. Do you have somebody you could share this with? And you'd actually be surprised at how many people will, because we don't actually ask for help enough because we feel like it sounds desperate. But I'm not asking you out of desperation. I'm asking you to share Brand Camp with people because I know how much it helps, and you know how much it helps. And if I get to share my gift with everybody, then more people will benefit. So it's about an energy exchange, right? It's about not thinking about it in terms of dollars and cents. It's about, I'm sharing my gift with the world and you're helping me amplify that voice. So that's really what that reaching out to your network and past clients and just showing people you care, because it's reciprocal, right? When you give, it will come back to you. You just have to make sure to replenish yourself in the meantime, that you're not giving all of your energy away. And then ultimately focus on the goal. For me, if I know Brand Camp, filling Brand Camp at the end of this month is my goal, then that should be my main focus, aside from the clients that I'm working with, obviously. But that should be my main focus for the rest of this month until that starts. And so I shouldn't get distracted by shiny objects. But I did just get a speaking opportunity that is still focused on my goal, because me getting in front of an audience gets me in front of more people who could potentially sign up for Brand Camp, right? And start to go through that funnel process, which I know a lot of people don't like the term for that. But anyway, that's the term that it has. So I hope that helps. Obviously, nobody's here to listen to this right now, so there will be no questions live. But if you do have questions about this, please post it. I'm happy to answer any questions. Pop in with a video on the Facebook group. I love all of you, and I'm so pleased with some of the progress so many of you are making. It's such an honor to have you part of this group and to be able to share my knowledge with you and to be on this journey with you. Thank you for sharing your wins and your challenges. And I'm thinking about all of you, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, and have an amazing day.